Hey guys, back again. I've made some modifications. I was working towards having a JARVIS. Oh, he didn't talk. I think he's active, but he's not working. No, he's not working. Sorry. Anyway, because normally he goes, yes sir. So what I've done, I've had a bit of a rethink. Everyone and their dog, that's a bit of Australian lingo for those guys out here who aren't Australian, being basically everyone. He's doing the JARVIS thing. Yeah, cool. I like it. I reckon it rocks. But I wanted to go one step further. And me being me, obviously I make things difficult for myself because I want all this stuff and I want it now. So again, this is a free system or free way of doing things. Again, you can pay for this if you can pay for your services if you want to, but with information like this, you probably want to keep it local to your system. You don't want everyone looking at your logs and screenshots and passwords, particularly. So I've got it basically set up all local and free. So again, this is all freebie. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a memory for my AI. Now all the big players do that for you with their projects and other ways that they actually handle all their mass information. But I wanted it local, and what I wanted it to do, I wanted it to look at my screen and snapshot my screen, summarize that screen, and put it into a short-term log. And then from that short-term log, I want it to go into a weekly log, a monthly log, and a yearly log. A lot of information, but on the flip side, on the back side of it, I've got it actually summarising it. So we're not talking huge amounts of data. Okay, so it can grow, and at some point we'll have to make a culling process at some point, but I haven't got to that just yet. So what you see in front of you here is my little foxy thing up here. He's my companion. Now, this is part 2 of this, and let me just take you through stage 1 or part 1. So what it's doing here, as my mouse is moving around the screen, this thing's capturing shots every 15 to 30 seconds, varying on the amount of information going to the screen. If my MacBook goes to sleep, it'll drop down to pretty much nothing. So it's variable, right? So if I've got screens going left, right, and centre, it's going ballistic. Now what it's counting here is my sync queue. Now what my M5, so I've got an M5 MacBook Pro, which is my daily driver, connected to a Mac Mini M4 through Thunderbolt. Now Mac Minis are great for doing things like this. So they're like, low power draw. They've got their AI part of it. It's really, really good. As you can see here, you can see I've got only a small model, and it's churning away at the moment, processing my screenshots and summarising them into a small summary and popping them onto a Chroma database that sits on the M4. Like I said, I'm going to run out of memory, run out of hard drive space at some point, so yeah, I've got to hit that stage at some point. So if I just flick back through this, you'll see that it's churning down from 112 to 106, so it's processing my frames as I'm actually doing this video. Why? Number 1, because you can. Number 2, brings this little character into it. So what I want it to do is remember what I've been working on, how I've been working, and my flow, I guess, is how I code, how I work through systems. And I want this little guy here, who's starting to work already, I want him to actually give me suggestions. Now at the moment, he's reacting on a Python script, and he will go from different states. So he's got about 5 different states. So he'll jump up and beg coding. He'll run along if he's doing. Sorry, I'm just remember what his states are now. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's 5 of them. And if I go down to back to here, my companion. There's only a little error here. Let's control suit that. It's companion. Status, that's right, I can't remember. STATUS. He is not in any mode at all at the moment, bollocks to that, sorry. I should actually have him, he's just disappeared. So anyway, if I start him again. So he'll jump up and wherever he went, he's not coming back. That's all right. He eventually comes back. No, sorry, my bad. I actually can't even spell, so it's just timing out on the orchestrator. So the orchestrator's ties this stuff together. At the back of it's just a Python script. So if I can actually spell companion start, there we go. He will come back and he just lives over. There he is there. Now that's waiting state. So, but what I want him to do is I want him to initiate or interact with me when I'm doing tasks. So if I'm going coding something and I'm looking at it and going, yeah, that's not going the right way, I want him to be able to suggest a different path, or suggest, and if I've done an error, he can read the error. So I want that to happen by looking at my memory logs and seeing the way that I code. It's very cumbersome and it's very nerdy, but it's very, very cool. So takeaway, I guess, I want the memory thing to happen so I can actually create a search database and create a search database of what I've been doing in the past week, month, year, I think, which is really good, as long as my hard drive space doesn't tap out quickly. Now, and B, I want this little guy down here to actually give me suggestions on my workflows throughout the day. Okay, so he can actually look at my short-term memory, my long-term memory, and go, okay, Steve coded this last February. He got it working doing this. Maybe I suggest that to him and say, look, you got it working doing this. Maybe you should have a look at that. That's what I want. And that's what I think is touching on the next part of actually getting smarter without getting smarter, if that makes sense. So it's just having that memory file that he can actually link to. So I won't go much further than this, except for I've made myself a little status icon. How cool is that? I've never done one before. So this just basically tells you what's running in the background. So observer is basically my screen capture. So snap, 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 summarize, summarize, summarize. The web server is what you're looking at in front of you, is just running Thunderbolt. My sync queue, that's is my email, apologise, and my brain server. So I can take my MacBook M5 to work, disconnected from my M4, and it'll cache. So it'll still create a log of all my snapshots. It just won't summarize it. So when I plug it back in, it'll actually do its thing overnight and actually summarize my screenshots of what I've been working on while I've been away from my M4. So a little bit of synchronization and other bits and pieces there. This is for later, snoozing. So he's got his different states, obviously waiting, snoozing. I haven't linked that up yet, so he doesn't link to this just yet. He will. My queued, so my orchestrator task. So I've got another couple of plans at the back end of this to say, okay, go away and code me a website based on XYZ. See you later, come back and tell me when you're finished. He will respond when he's finished. That's what I want him to do. And it will actually report on if the task has failed or finished or whatever the case may be. So I'll quickly take you through these. This is just a chat interface. Sorry, chatty. That's normal. You've used those before. My timeline, this just tells me what's going on. Okay, my breakdown. Let's move him out of the road. I've been using IDE. My user notification center is up to 3 minutes. That's going to tell me basically a bit of app uptime and whatnot, which is pretty cool. That's my task section, my memory. So that's just a dump that I was testing with, and that's just my status at the moment. I will come back and make a part 2 to this because I'll show you a little bit more of how all of this little snoozing foxy motion links up with this little dude. And I'll show you a bit of a demo on the orchestrator task that I can go and send him to do, and he can go back and tell me what's going on. So I'll wrap it up there because this will probably go on forever and ever because this stuff is really, really cool and really, really nerdy. So if you've got any questions, suggestions, like I said, I love doing this stuff. I love trying to make it for free if you can. And I think if you can get on top of this and start playing with this when you've got some time, especially if you're interested in AI and having it all free and local, you can get some really cool stuff out of it. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'm going to call it here.